Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. This is Joe Larson with my buddy here, Mike Jawrecki. We're here for the 505 on Racing Show, broadcast number 350. Welcome.
Nice to be here.
You know,
I was here last for your 300th show.
You were here for the 300th. Yes, you were. And you know, I look back and I like sharing this story. When I got the call from Chuck and Bonnie from Ultimate Media and Inravio.com and the Inravio Television Network, they needed a hand with a racing show. I said, tell me what time, where, I'll be there. So I come, and we were in the old studio back then, and I was like a co-host to the gentleman, Henry Boston. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we'll do this for a few months and see how it goes, you know.
How many years now?
It's 7.
Wow.
7 years.
And I've only been on 3 times.
I know.
How come?
Well, you know, when you meet the guys that are going to come on later, you might understand.
They always show up when I'm here too. So.
I know, you know. But I look back, and tonight we have a really fun show in store. Of course, we're going to talk about what went on in Kansas Motor Speedway in Kansas this weekend with the Cups and the truck, and we got you're here again. MyRaceNews.com going stronger than ever.
Doing well.
You took it to that next level, and Walter's looking down proud.
I'm sure he's pretty
looking
happy.
down
We've
proud.
gotten to a few places that I never thought we'd end up being. So,
yeah.
And lots more to go this year. So.
It's all good, and you know, and my daughter Kerry is working with you now, so that's all good,
is.
and I appreciate that. Thank you. And we're gonna throughout the show show some of the guests that we've had on in the past. You know, from when we first came on, and guys from the Camping World Truck Series, the K&N Pro Series, Southern Modifieds, guys who raced down in Florida. So we're going to take a look back at that as well. But because it's show 350, we're not going to do the Where Are They Now segment, because I don't think we can get this all in an hour. So I might have to bring you guys all back next week, you know, to make it happen. So we'll see how that goes.
Twist my arm.
I'll twist your arm, no problem. And then we have going to be live with us at the table here. You got Jimmy Rennick, all the way from Howard Beach, New York, and he brought the cannolis. He left the gun, but he brought the cannolis. It's all good. It's all good. Some butter cookies. These guys are going to make me crazy. NASCAR Wheeling on American Series Super Pro Truck driver with one of the most impressive haulers I've ever seen.
And one of the greatest paint jobs.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. And the best food in the pit area. The best food.
Absolutely.
Best food. And we have John Casali, Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. We're still plugging along. He's sitting there with us too. We have John Visconti from Visconti Motorsports, the K&N Pro Series. He's just up from North Carolina to join us tonight. And we also have Glenn Sullivan, Co-Own Motorsports. He made an appearance. I've been trying to get Glenn on this show for about 2 years now, and it just never worked out. The days he could come, I canceled. The days I needed him, he was away. So he's a surprise guest, and with a bunch of other stuff we're going to talk about. But with that, we're going to get right to it, because I want to get rid of the business end, the Kansas stuff, so we can have fun tonight. So we have results out of Kansas Motor Speedway for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, and we'll bring that up in a second. But for those who joined us a little late, you were there, I wasn't, little technical difficulties, but we got it all together. So anyway, here we are, Kansas, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Kevin Harvick was the winner there, followed by Martin Truex Jr. Joey Logano was third, Kyle Larson fourth, Denny Hamlin was fifth, Paul Menard sixth, Eric Jones seventh, Kurt Busch eighth, Eric Almirola ninth, and Kyle Busch rounding out the top 10. A disastrous crash, a fiery crash towards the end of that race.
William Byron shortened that car by about 2 feet.
Yeah, I mean, wow. You know, thank goodness nobody was hurt thanks to the NASCAR safety that they implement on these cars.
And another car landed on top of Ryan Newman.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit. He's got to stop that.
He's got that problem and situation, I should say. But there's a picture of some of it. It was just one of those things that it just, you know, they're going so fast, they're going so close, and they're racing tight, and you know, a wind could shift and send these cars into each other.
It's blink of an eye. He was in the wall at 175 miles an hour,
yeah.
And not a scratch on him thanks to the safety measures in those cars. You know, he hopped out immediately and waved to the crowd, but yeah, that was some shot.
Yeah, it was. It's like I said, thank goodness nobody was, you know, severely injured. I'm sure they got bumped and bruised today when they wake up, but
he's also 19 years old or 20 years old,
you know,
so not as much as we would hurt. You know?
No, you know, I had that wreck 20 years ago, and I was 40, and it still hurts. So
the older you get, the more it hurts.
When I was young, I'd bounce off the walls, and we'd go back and go build a new one. You know, we'd start that night, but it was all good. And so good race there. The trucks are also on this weekend after a long layoff, the Camping World Truck Series. And that's a series, I don't understand their schedule, but I guess they don't have to. It's like they're in a weekly series. Yeah, they're racing and they're not racing. And I don't understand that. So, but NASCAR does its thing, and who am I? You know, who am I to say that, you know? Because I said this all the time. Years ago, I started racing in '78, and we didn't look at the schedule. Saturday night, Friday night, you loaded up. Saturday, you went racing.
But in those days, you had 3 classes or 4 classes of cars.
Yeah,
now they have to rotate 8, 9, 10 divisions.
I know. And you know, and I always said, and some people think I'm wrong for this, but you know, some track promoters say, let's start a new division. Well, that doesn't bring in new drivers, in my opinion. What it does is it takes the back markers out of some of the other divisions. Like, I could be good.
Gives them their own division.
Exactly. But anyway, I think we had the truck. Camping World Truck Series. There we go. Noah Gragson was the winner there, followed by Kyle Busch. Stuart Friesen was 3rd. John Hunter Nemechek was 4th. Johnny Sauter 5th. Matt Crafton 6th. Cody Coughlin 7th. Grant Enfinger was 8th. Brandon Jones 9th. And Justin Haley rounding out the top 10. So Kansas, fast place. Fast place.
Very fast. Nice crowd.
Was it? Yeah, it was a pretty good crowd. And
decent racing. The Cup race. Not many cautions till the end.
Right.
Cautions breed cautions. But not a bad weekend. They've done some nice things at Kansas. You know, the big casino off the backstretch.
Yeah. Kind of like Dover.
Kind of like Dover. More people, though.
More people. And that's a problem that NASCAR is facing is you know, when you, in my opinion, you go online, you look, let's see if there's any seats available. And there's hardly any seats available. But when you watch it on the weekend, it's empty.
Well, a couple of things. You know, we've been to a few Cup races the last couple of years. They do so many things off the track, so many things outside the track. If you go to Daytona, I mean, there's so much going on in the infield. People don't go to their seats.
Right.
People camp out. They stay in their campers.
Yep.
I mean, we went to Watkins Glen last year, 2 years ago. Thousands of campers. They never come into the track.
Right.
And they're sold out every year, too.
Yeah. Yep.
But you know, the same thing. There's not every seat is filled during the race, but there's just so much to do. So
yeah,
it's good in one way and bad in another way.
Exactly. And I have friends that go to Daytona every year for like forever, and they're there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They go to the activities,
right,
and then they go back to the hotel and watch.
Race day, they start at 8 o'clock in the morning with driver appearances, concerts, all sorts of things. So there's so much to do. You know, when I take my kids, there is as much for all the other stuff as they are for the races.
Yes. And I think that's one of the things. And years ago, you didn't have that. There was no midway. There were no haulers with games and prizes.
You went to the races.
You went to the races.
But now,
you went to the races.
I'm guessing they're assuming the attention span is a lot shorter. We have to give them a lot more things to do. So.
Oh yeah. So anyway, let's get rid of this while we're in this segment. A racing legend and famed car builder, Maynard Troyer. He passed away this past Thursday at the age of 79. That guy is a legend in racing.
Modifieds are what they are because of him, and designing a car that you can buy parts for, you can buy clips for. You know, he's the first to do that. Many years ago, I was up at Spencer Speedway on a Friday night, and watched him work on his own car. He had like 1, 2 crew members with him. He was doing everything himself.
Yeah.
You know, from what I've read, you know, I didn't know Maynard that well. He lived the life to the fullest. He enjoyed himself.
He did.
You know, his NASCAR career was short-lived.
Yes, it
about
was.
1 season and 1 race.
Yeah.
Holding the record for rollovers at Daytona, 9 laps into his Cup career.
Yep.
But thank God he went up from there.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, he's originally from Plain City, Ohio. He built a shop up in Rochester, New York, back in '64. But he didn't start really racing himself till, I guess it was in '64, and then stopped racing in '82. I guess he was having more success as an engine builder, as a chassis builder, than as a competitor.
Well, even
though he was a good competitor.
Very good competitor. I spent 2 years in college in Oswego and got to see him race several times at Oswego, Spencer, some places like that, and it was. You know, he was there to win when he showed up.
Absolutely.
Always in the front pack, even Pocono, some of the races we went to there. But yeah, he was way more successul as a builder and a engineer than he was a driver, and that says a lot because he was a damn good driver.
And NASCAR leaned on him in the early years of the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour with suggestions and how to build. And when we started losing all those drivers because these cars were so stiff, you know, Maynard Troy was one of those guys who sat down and listen, let's try this and let's do that. That wouldn't happen today, in my opinion. That just wouldn't happen. NASCAR wants to do it. NASCAR wants to do it.
You know, I don't know. I mean, they incorporated so many things into the cars, you know, from Maynard's ideas and the things he did. Because for a long time, he was the only car builder that was building cars like that. Now you have multiple chassis builders. And then even that he jumped in, a super modified, built one of those that could win, and built some really fast dirt modifieds.
Yeah. So it's, when you look back, you know, that's a name that's going to live on in racing forever.
He's like, it's like a Kleenex, you know.
Yeah.
It's a name brand. You know, Troyer. There's a Troyer car in every field. SKs, SK lights, modifieds, whatever. There's a lot of chassis out there, and they rebuild them. You can put new clips on them. You can update them. You can, you know.
Absolutely.
You don't build them in the garage anymore.
No more. Hey, before we go on break, I want to take a look back at some of the guests that have appeared in our 7-year history of the 505 on Racing Show, and some notable names and people. And we're going to bring up those pictures in a second. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell the story when he comes up, his picture comes up. But there was one driver when I begged him to call in from North Carolina. And he said, Dad, he said, I only got 10 minutes. And we had a 2-hour show back then. An hour later, we were still talking because his dad was watching on a computer. And his dad kept saying, stay on, keep going. So we're going to bring some of those pictures up. That's you and me, you know, here we are.
What was that?
I think that was...
Did I poke you with something on that one?
I think somebody said something crazy in the chat room because that's when the screen was up on top. So we had some fun on that show that night. And that's the old setup that we had in the studio. So that was a good one. And we have a bunch more coming up. Bobby Finan. He was a guest on. And
I was here when Bob was here. He has a couple of stories to tell.
Oh, he was here one night. And it was funny. It was you were coming on. Roger Roxy was coming on. Bob Fine was coming on, and there was somebody else that was coming in, and everybody was stuck in traffic, and Bob was here a half hour early, and it worked out perfect because Bob and I got to talk one-on-one about what's going on with the new Riverhead Raceway and things of that nature. So we've had some fun. We've had some good people on the show. Here we have JV, John Visconti, with his new driver, Brandon McReynolds, and driving the IGA K&M Pro Series East car. I didn't realize Brandon was that tall.
He's not.
You know? Oh, he's really not. I thought he was shorter. So either John's sitting or Brandon's on a box. So that was, but Brandon's doing very well. John will be on in the next segment. We'll be able to talk about it. Brett Hearn, I named Brett Hearn there at Orange County Fair Speedway up in Middletown, New York. The winningest driver on dirt.
Did he win number 500 the other night?
In that series, he's got over 900 victories total between everything he's raced.
Oh, Billy Ponch, that's what it was, one number 5.
Yeah, good guy, Brett Hearn. He took Bruce Edwards. Bruce Edwards was trying to make it today. He's got some Civic things. He had a Civic. He's on the Civic Association, so something came up.
He had some great-looking race cars.
He was way ahead of his time, Bruce. And driving a famed number 60. And a lot of people didn't realize Dale Earnhardt Sr., the late Dale Earnhardt Sr., drove one of his cars and reletted it, the Wrangler number 3.
Yep, at Stafford.
Yeah, it's that, and Dale loved that car. So did Bruce. I think we have one more guy before we go, but you know, I look back at some of the people that have been down here taking the time to come out, and you know, it's here we go. Burt Myers, that's the one I asked him to be on the show, and he's had to check with his dad, because to them racing is their life, that's their business. And they were working in a shop, and he said, Daddy said, you know, 10, 15 minutes at the most. And like I said, we had a 2-hour show, and Burt just kept talking. And then when I saw him at the next event down at Caraway, he goes, Daddy's in the corner, just saying, keep going, keep going, keep going. Because we were plugging the sponsors, talking about the family. As you know, his uncle was killed driving a family car way back when. And Burt was a good interview, and I had a good time with him.
And their Madhouse is back this year.
Yeah, you know, it is. Oh, nice. And it's funny, Burt's crew chief. When I would do tech on the car, break my chops, and a little bit over it, he would break my chops, and anytime I suggested something or thinking these guys change that, his crew chief would show me where it says that in the rule book. Now, I wrote a lot of the rule books, so I knew I pulled it out, go to that page, there you go. Okay, sir, we'll take care of it. And one day he came, he had a UPS t-shirt. I said, UPS, you work for UPS? He says, yeah. I said, I'm a sales manager at UPS. All of a sudden, him and I we bonded.
Friends.
He never questioned anything I said, because I was the manager, he was the hourly, and that UPS manager hourly thing is a lot of respect. But we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, sitting to my right will be Jimmy Rennick, number 7 Super Pro Truck driver at the Riverhead Raceway in the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series out of Howard Beach, New York, when we come back.
Hey, I was going to say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're Set It Up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Let's see, we had a little change here at the table. Sitting to my right, your left, Jimmy Rennick, Super Pro Truck driver number 7. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure, Jimmy. Always. And you know, I tell you what, you know, the guy never comes empty-handed. Nice tray of cookies, cannolis.
Yeah, told you I bring the cannolis.
You did say that.
We
You
brought
did say
them.
that. It's so good. How you doing, Jim?
Doing okay.
Doing good?
Yeah, a little bit of letdown last week, as you know.
Yeah,
The loss of my dad.
Yeah, we're very sorry for that.
Thank you. And but we're moving forward.
Absolutely.
With the race team and everything, is the way he would want it.
You know, I know it's a cliche, but you know what? That's where he wants to be.
Yeah, we
He's
spoke
happy.
about it.
Yeah, we talked
off camera
about that
and stuff.
You know, you lost your mom 11 months ago.
Yeah.
And
It was fast. It really was.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
but,
just,
you know, as long as you got them in the heart, your memories.
just the memories.
You
It's
know,
the
it's
memories.
all good. It's all good.
Yep.
Anyway, let's talk about some good stuff.
Yep.
Truck, what's going on with you? You're looking pretty good.
We're doing pretty good. We practiced well. I mean, we only had opening night. As you know, we got rained out this past Saturday.
Yeah.
But Rob Pellis really got it dialed in for us. We tried a bunch of different things, and Rob really, he really went to work on it. I mean, he found so many things that were wrong with it stuff that it was amazing the truck was even going around the racetrack.
Right.
The stuff he found.
Okay.
But Rob dove into it, and he did a lot of adjustments, a lot of changes, and it showed. I mean, it was only practice, but it was much better being fast in practice than being slow in chasing.
Right. Yep.
So opening night, she was good, but for some odd reason, she just tightened up, and we really didn't have much. Marky ran away with it, and that truck is fast, and he's a good driver, and they deserved it. We had nothing for him. We ended up coming home third with the tightness, but I'll take it.
A podium finish is, you know.
Second and third, second in the heat and third in the feature.
Yeah.
So it was a good night for us, overall points.
You know, and a lot of people that don't watch the trucks race on Long Island here at Riverhead, you know, they think that it's like an enduro truck. You guys have
they think we go off-road.
Yeah.
But when I take it off the track, it looks like we did go off-road. But for the most part, a lot of people don't understand it.
No,
they really don't.
They don't. And I know when I was doing figure-8 cars and people say, oh, do you wreck them on purpose? No, we have like $20,000, $30,000 race car. We're like a wreck on purpose. Come on.
Everybody always asks, how fast you going? And you tell them basically what the quarter-mile speed is with the trucks. We're probably between 67 and 69.
Yeah.
And they look at me and it's like, ain't that fast.
Right.
All right, you try doing it an inch away from a wall and an inch away from another competitor.
You're going
good you do.
You're going the length of a football field in like 3.5 seconds. You know, come on.
Yeah.
They don't understand what it's like. And
yeah, it's difficult. You try to explain to them because I had some people come out for the first time ever to the racetrack, so it was good to give them, an understanding of what it's about, rather than just seeing the truck in the hall or in the shop.
And you have the most spectacular hauler.
Thank you.
I mean,
it just turned into its own thing. It was.
It's a beast.
It was a crazy idea, like we spoke of in the past, that just actually worked out for once.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about this business that we call racing. Things have to fall into place. You have to be in the right place at the right time. And
yeah, I need some more of that.
Yeah.
I do. I need some more of that.
Yeah. I look back on all the years and all the races that I've gone to, and you start to feel. I'm going to say you start to feel bad for certain teams because they're running up front for the first time and they get taken out by a lap car or a lap truck, and whether they blow a tire or blow an engine, and you're like, and then they keep coming back.
I'm telling you, I keep going back, and it's like I just feel like shooting myself in the head. Like, what the hell I keep doing this for?
Well,
it's aggravating.
You're doing it so often now.
Going around in circles over here, and it can't get nowhere. If it wasn't for bad luck, we'd have none at all, the way we've been going.
Well, again, you show up every week, and I'll tell you what, at the end of the night, and not a lot of tracks do this, and I've been to a lot of tracks all over North America. In other racetracks, your race is over, get out. And here on Long Island, and it's been a tradition since the ISO Speedway days and Freeport days, the fans come in, interact, and I'll tell you what, those people flock around your area. Some for the food. Yeah. Because you have I'm telling you have the best food in the whole place.
That's Angela. She's always cooking stuff. When I go home on Friday nights, it smells like the San Gennaro feast. When I'm coming down the block, it's just like stuff going on all over the place. You walk in the house, you can't bother her because she got this flipping, the sauce and your peppers going over here, man. The fried chicken. She got stuff everywhere. Thank God for her. I don't know how she does it. I'm telling you, hours and hours on Friday. She's sitting there cooking. Then she orders the heroes, and she's got everything going on over there. I don't know how she does it. Thank God.
And I know, the last time you were a guest on the show wasn't an anniversary show. You had your nephew Nicholas.
Yeah,
Nicky came up. He's still trying to make it happen down there in Citrus County, I think Speedway he runs, in Auburndale.
Yeah, he just ran some big-ass demo down in Citrus. I don't know. Yep. They put so much work into these demo cars today. I don't know how they do it.
And they reused them.
I don't know. It's amazing what they do to these demo cars.
And I know his dream is to drive in the NASCAR series and move his way up, and I think he's waiting for you to retire so he could get in your seat. And
we've had this conversation.
Yes, we have.
I think Nicholas has over 60 wins between his go-karts and all the divisions and the Bombers and plus his championship.
Yeah, I think I looked him up. There was like you said, over 60. There was like
with
63.
Yeah, I wanted to smack him upside his head. When I brought him here, I made him wear his purple jacket because he wasn't going to wear it. I said, "You wear that jacket. You earned it."
I've said that to kids in the go-kart when they were in EKRA and Leica, and a lot of money was spent by the organizations to give them these championship jackets, and so many kids didn't wear them. I finally gave my daughters some Marty Himes. She goes, "Dad, I'm not wearing that." I said, why? You go earned it. You should be proud of it. You know.
And some people feel funny with it, you know. I don't know why, but I wanted him to wear it because I felt he should have been proud of it. Listen, I started this gig back in 1983, running the demos like we spoke of.
Yep.
And I've only won 2 features in 30 some odd years, even though I walked away for a long time.
Yeah.
And both I was DQ'd for. So go figure.
Yeah.
One for a damn stud in the head or something, and the other one for valve spring retainer caps. Who gets this DQ'd for valve spring retainer caps? I didn't even know what they were. I had to Google them that night. Now I know what they are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. So, you know, sometimes the tech, and I was a tech inspector, you know, in the weekly series, also in the K&M Pro series, the modified series, even the old Nationwide series. And I would look at some of these things, and the rule book would say that. And in my head, I'd say, is this a safety issue? No. Is it a competitive advantage? No. Fix it next time. But oh no, no.
What you do? You take it on the chin and you move on.
Yeah.
And here we are. We're still struggling. We're trying to get it, though. I think we got a good shot at getting something done this year. Looking forward to it. With all the guys helping out, and like I said, with Rob doing the setup for me, and it just seems to be working well.
So, and I'll tell you what, and I've been watching you since you've been in the truck series, and it seems like each and every week, that much better than the last week, and that much better than the week before, and so forth and so on.
Sometimes it seems like, you know, we made like 4 steps forward, but we made 6 back.
Right.
You know, we definitely have struggled, and I don't know if it's just, listen, my driving style is the way I drive. I'm not a finesse person. I'm more all out. Very aggressive, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of hard, and even Riverhead, I'm used to when it used to have to, even though I'm racing on for 4 years, it's like, I'm used to when the rumple strips were there on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, they're not there no more, and everybody else seems to have it figured out but me.
Yeah,
so I
it'll come.
Gotta get some potato chips and follow them going around the line or something.
Who are some of the people that make it happen for you with the Super Pro truck?
First and foremost, my wife Angela. Without her, this wouldn't be possible because of everything she does behind the scenes. Monetarily, it's Metropolitan Recycling, Sonny's Collision. I have NASCARcovers.com. Guy Greg Valvo came on board, and without them, we couldn't do it. As you guys know, the price of the tires, they kill us every week. But without them, the hauler, you know, taking the old garbage compactor and making it into the race truck hauler.
Yeah.
The roll-off, being able to use that whenever. And, you know, it's like my own truck, basically. But without those people, Metropolitan and Sonny's, you know, it was great to have Sonny's come back on board. So without them, it wouldn't be possible.
All right. And I'll tell you what, and there's a lot of people that are racing because of companies and people who've stepped up to the plate, so to speak, to make it happen.
Yeah, and then, you know, you got the guys who come and, you know, come and help, like Timmy comes in spots. You got Scott, he comes over and helps me with the tires and stuff like that. You know, my son Michael's now getting more involved with it. As you know, Nicholas, when he's up here, he comes over. It's just everybody involved, and I hope I didn't forget nobody, but, you know, everybody has a part in it. And without all the help of these people, you know, you can't do it. And I seen posts on Facebook for 2 or 3 other teams this week looking for people to come and help. Somebody to read a tape measure. Well, I can't do that. I need the one with all the little lines on it.
Yeah.
So.
I used to use a digital one because it gave you the readouts.
Yes, a couple of them used that big gray thing, the stagger. I used that.
I got 82 and 4 little lines.
That's what I do. I got an app on my phone for it now.
Yeah.
Punch it in.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's a pleasure that you came in. This is a haul for you in traffic on Long Island. So I really appreciate that you came.
You think John would have sent the helicopter for me? He flew right over me.
Yeah.
Sitting on Southern State, and everyone went.
Got the Highland Beach, Westbury, Staten Island. Guy worked in the city all day today, and the only guy that had a problem getting here is a block away. Long Island needs a drag strip, John Casale, and he could walk here, and he was the last one.
Go figure.
I don't understand. You know, as he looked at the clock, I got time. I got time.
By the time you started this show, we all got
time. Anyway, we had some more of our former guests coming up on the screen, and I'll tell you what, I was looking through the archives and to look at some of the guys and gals who came on, and I'll tell you what, I had some nice people. I met some nice, I mean, man. You know, we want to be good buddies, man. You know, it's all good. So we got some people. Here we go. There's Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. John Casale. He was there for. That's an anniversary show shot there. So he's here. We'll bring him on a little bit to talk about what's going on with the drag strip, and you know, it was just a bunch of people and C.J. Lehman, who drove for John Visconti in the Crate Modifieds way back when he was here, and it's really not way back when. It seems that way. It was only last season. Kid, you know, just it was one of those things. And this picture here is the K&M Pro Series East car. We're gonna let John talk about that when he comes on. So we'll bring that image back in a little bit. And here, Dave Rigotti. Dave Rigotti, multi-time champion NASCAR, Wheeling All-American Series in multi-divisions.
Tell me about it. I'm chasing him all the time. Yeah. I know. I'm well aware of it.
He was going to try to make it down here. We got Freddie Kraft, my cousin, who's been involved with racing since he came out of the womb, is now a spotter with Richard Petty Motorsports, Bubba Wallace. And, you know, it's funny when we did that interview, you know, I said to Fred, I said, you know, you've always been in racing. Like, what opportunities did you have, like, for a job? And he goes, well, the Long Island Railroad called me and to be like a conductor. I said, Fred, that's awesome. Yeah, but they wanted me to work on Saturdays. I turned it down.
No, wasn't a fit for him.
And, you know, he followed his dream. Jimmy Kelly, a good chauffeur in his day. Now with the Live Hours Long Island Vintage Auto Racing Series, he won opening night. Broke the streak of Don Howe, who was another vintage driver.
That car was fast.
That car was fast.
I was watching
video.
Peter Milano's video.
Yeah.
That thing was quick.
It was right on. Right on. If that went another 5 laps, I think Don Howe would have roughed him up.
He had a lot of power down the straightaways.
Yeah, so it's all good. But anyway, we're going to take a break. We come back, we'll bring our good buddy John Casale up here for a little bit. We got John Visconti coming up, and JV as we call him. Glenn Sullivan sitting out there too. And I have my former crew chief, one of the most fun crew chiefs I ever worked with. You know, we call him Jay Slice. He's sitting there on the bench here waiting to come in. So we're going to take a break, and we come back. We're going to have more stories and more sharing of what's going on when we come back.
Hi, I'm Remington.
I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian.
We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
There we go.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, this is Chris Less Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Village Music Shop of Master. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi, this is Mike Jawrecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Welcome back.
This is Mike Jawrecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Great music.
All right, I think we're back here live again. So you know, you hear the live studio audience in the background over there.
They're having a blast.
They're having a blast. And they didn't even eat the cannolis yet. They didn't even eat the cannolis. Anyway, I think the applause sign is going up. I've seen it. So anyway. But yeah.
Faux pas.
You know, you forget what you're doing sometimes. But anyway, John Casale, Long Island needs a drag strip. Welcome.
Welcome back.
How you doing?
Good.
Welcome.
How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, show 350.
Yeah.
Show 350. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We're having a good time. We're having a good time, and you know, it's one of those things that when you look back on this and you think of all the people that have been a part of it, and all the work you and your group's doing to make it happen with the drag strip.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
I didn't think it would be this much work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
What are some of the things you could share with us that's happening? Because I know there's a lot of stuff and the understanding of what needs to be done, and you don't want to let too much out of the bag. But you know, when you do that, you know, all of a sudden you got the dissenters and the haters that want to try to stop it.
They're starting to come out now, being that we're making more notoriety, and we're getting our name out there. Mm-hmm. You know, we're still looking for Riverhead and Brookhaven.
Right.
We have some properties there.
Yep.
We have some investors. We're always looking for more investors. We're getting a pro forma done by a great organization, United States Motorsports Association in North Carolina.
Right.
So everything is going forward.
Right.
In the good direction.
Okay.
Everybody knows that the EPCAL Grumman property would be great, but they're in contract with 555, and we have to see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and
we want a little piece of the pie. We want 4,000 feet. If you can't give us 4,000, we'll take 2,000.
Right. That's all. You take what you can get. You know, and you know, everybody with this, you know, it's like not in my backyard, and we don't want to do this, and don't, you know, we don't want it. We don't want it. We don't want it. And when we go to the rallies and we go to the shows, I'm thinking the people that are there want it.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't see people at the gate trying to stop that.
No.
You know, but you know, people are kind of funny. You know, just kind of funny.
We went from a small venue last year at Jesus' Lord Church to we outgrew that, and we're at the Mount Carmel Church now.
Yep.
In Patchogue.
On North Ocean.
On North Ocean. Yep. Yeah. And we had 600 cars last week, and the week before that. So we're packing out, and we're getting out there.
Okay.
It's the word is widespread.
Right.
Again, you know, it's educating the people that are uneducated in the sport that think that drag racing is street racing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. Unfortunately, they just had an accident a couple weeks ago where they said, you know, 2 kids drag racing on the street. But yeah, we ended up going to News 12 and explaining to them that they were street racing. Drag racing is a controlled sport.
Exactly.
Just like you guys do at the track.
At the circle track.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can't, listen, Riverhead's the only one left. So Long Island's got a big history, and we have to bring racing back and
you know,
where it belongs.
Marty Himes, his daughter, posted something on social media about all the tracks that used to be on Long Island. It was a list. It was this long.
Yeah.
You know, all gone, or, you know, urban sprawl, whatever you want to call it. Where's it going? And when you look at the people that still go to the races, it's the same families. There's not a lot of new people coming in. But when you look at the drag racing groups, there were kids in strollers, and there were kids that were 90 years old.
Yeah.
That still are into that stuff.
It's a great family sport.
Yeah.
And people, it's a shame that people don't get it, and they keep saying, not in my backyard.
Right.
But you pushed it out of your backyard.
It
was here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not letting go. We're fighting till the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an ongoing battle, and we're going to win this one.
And I'll tell you what, and we are. We're gonna make this happen. I don't see another oval track being built on Long Island anytime soon. But I'll tell you what, a drag strip on Long Island, man. I know somebody that's on the Long Island Planning Board, and they know it's necessary.
Yes.
Not only for the people, but for the economics of just having a facility, and it's a trickle-down effect. It's all the stores in the area, they're going to see more revenue. The gas stations are going to see more revenue. The hotels are going to see, more people staying in their beds.
Yeah.
And that's a big trickle-down effect that it's going to have.
And not to bash solar farms, but people sometimes want to see a solar farm, but solar farms don't make revenue.
No.
That's a one-shot deal.
No, exactly.
We've got numbers that'll prove economic impacts to Long Island, which is unbelievable.
No, and you're seeing all these gated communities being built now. Everywhere there's vacant land, there's another gated community.
Golf course.
Another one. And the traffic that brings. People are going to complain about traffic. You just put another housing complex in with 500 homes with 3 or 4 people per home. That's 2,000 people, 3 of them in each drive out of each 3 out of the 4, and they don't change the road structure.
Right.
They're going to complain about once a week for like 6 months that it's going to be traffic.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, they complain a little bit about when it's pumpkin season, but listen, the revenue that we got, you won't complain.
No, and they don't understand that. And we've been doing this a long time. You with your the drag race and me with oval track racing. Most of my life has been at a racetrack somewhere, and the people that you meet, people that you didn't even think you would become friendly with or friends with. You have lifelong bonds, and even past racing.
No doubt.
We all have friends that during racing season you see them 3, 4, 5 times a week. You do all this kind of stuff. Race season ends, boom, you don't see them. You get a Christmas card, and then racing starts. Bam, you're right back like it was yesterday. Right
where you left off. We had just come back. A group of us, New York Street Outlaws, just went down to Tennessee to race the Memphis Street Outlaw boys. So, and you would think that the people down there would be different. Hospitality in racing is the same. They'll give you the shirt off their back.
That's right.
Come to my garage, use my shop, use my tools. What do you need?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Pretty much come stay at my house. And it's the welcome they gave us is tremendous.
I tell the story once in a while back in the day when Brian Cicello was driving my figure 8 car, and it was going for Rookie of the Year. And that year there were a handful of rookies in the figure 8s here on Long Island. And with the second to last night of racing, he stuffs the car in the wall, front and rear clip. Basically, you're done. You're not going to rebuild your car for one event. But we had a shot at Rookie of the Year, and okay, it's a piece of hardware, but you know what? You earned it. And the 3 of us, my crew chief, my driver, myself, we're like, what are we going to do? Does it pay? Maybe we'll build a new car for next year. And next year, the phone is ringing. The guy who's second in Rookie of the Year points wants to help put the car together. Other guys want to help put the car together. What do you need? I have a car. Take the. And the next thing you know, we're back in business. And Brian ends up that year getting Rookie of the Year. And I went over to the guy who came in second. I said, I got to thank you for that.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, thank you. He goes, I want to beat you on the racetrack.
Right.
Not in the pits, not in the garage. I want to beat you on the racetrack. And that's what we did. And
you're kind of like, I don't want to say enemies when you're at the racetrack. You're always trying to beat the guy next to you, or in your case, get in front of the guy that's in front of you.
Yeah.
And if something happens, they're willing to come over and just about say, look, take my car. If you're in points and you're second, you could use my car.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. Now, I've been watching the 4-wide racing, the Z-Max. What's your thoughts on it?
It's different. Very, very different. It gets the races off faster. I'm old school. 2 lanes, but I mean they had 4-wide at National Speedway back in the day. So it's now they have 4-wide over in Vegas.
Yep.
So it's definitely a different aspect. Louder, more power.
Oh yeah, I've never drag raced, and maybe you could help me cross that off the bucket list. But
yeah, I'll let you get in the car.
I can only imagine, like you're accustomed to side by side, and you.
No.
I got the gallery. They're all going, no. You know what? And I can only imagine. When you're going side by side, you're only moving your eyes one way or the other, because you got to worry about the guy that's on your right or your left, depending on what lane you pick. But then it's 4 wide. I've seen so many guys I watched one of the Z-Max events on TV, and here's the guy in like lane 1. He thinks he's got it because 2 and 3 are not even in his sights. And I'm not saying he lifted, because you're making that pass in 7 or 8 seconds. But I'm sure he went, I got this. As the guy in lane 4 went blowing by him.
Yeah, but those are 3 seconds, 4
yeah,
seconds.
Well, yeah. A lot happens real quick.
Yeah. You know, and then like your safety device, your Hans device, you can't do this and try to turn your head and look over to your left. So it's a tunnel vision effect.
It is.
And the biggest thing in drag racing you have to learn is run your own race.
Right. Do the best you can with what you got at that time.
You know, your last guest was talking about, money. Boy, oh boy, it hurts my wallet.
Yeah.
You know, and my little sponsors that I get, from local sponsors at East End Screen Printing and, East End Sign Design, they help me out a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a great feeling to know that.
And I was blessed, and from the day I bought my first race car to the day I loaded it in a trailer and watched Carl Baxter take it away with his brother-in-law, I never raced out of my pocket. Never.
You're lucky. You're lucky.
I had good sponsors over the years, and I can remember a sponsor that I had, and I'm eating up time, but the guy was out of Virginia, a company called J4. J4 said, just a fan of racing. It was an acronym. And he read the reports on Sunday, from the Jam or the email, and he calls me up. He goes, "How come you guys didn't race last night?" I was away at a tour race. My driver and the crew chief had a family thing, and I didn't want to tell him that. So I said, I was up at a tour race, and my driver was a little short on cash, and he couldn't make it.
Yeah, it's
Tuesday in the mail, I get an overnight letter with a check to cover the pit fees for my crew for the rest of the year.
Well, you can send one this way.
Right, remember that? Excuse me. And that's, I don't. When I raced myself, I was happy to finish last if I finished at all. And when my daughter raced, she was a multi-time champion in EKRA, but she was a 16-year-old girl in a Neanderthal class and got beat and banged, and we were top 10 in points, but we weren't winning races. And then we were underpowered at the figure 8 car when Brian drove for me, but he was still in the top 10 in points at the end of the year. Had some good finishes. We had a second place finish one night. Well, we kind of backed into it because we raced a smart race, but with sponsors, it's not about that. It's just not about that. It's about the return on their sponsorship on what you do for that sponsor.
Yeah. I mean, look, our sponsors on a low end, they're great to see their name on the car, just to get seen it in a photograph. We're hooked. But it's tough.
Yeah, they give me these signals here, these guys over here. So I guess we actually have 3 minutes left in this segment because I've been keeping track. But anyway, before we go to break, some more names and faces of people who have taken time out of their busy schedules to be on the show here. So let's take a look at some of those guys. And here we go. Cookie Visconti, late model standout at the Freeport Raceway back in the day. The father of John Visconti.
Kind of looks like him a little bit.
They kind of do.
Look.
Yeah, a little bit shorter. Cookie's good at so we'll have some fun with him when he comes on. But there was so many people. He had Jesse Little, Campbell World Truck Series driver, called in from North Carolina to talk about his career and where it was going. So we had a lot of fun with Jesse, the son of Chad Little. There's my daughter, and like I said, it was stuff like this that made my sponsors happy.
Yeah.
You got the cover page of Newsdays Part 2. And we had a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun with my daughter racing. So we had some fun with that. And it was a little story. I thought there was going to be a little picture, a little paragraph, but it was like 3 pages of story. So it was
good deal.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. That was over 10 years ago. Anyway, we got Justin Bonsignore, who I've known since his go-kart days, and I was a NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour contender. Rookie of the Year in the Modified Series in his first year. Good kid, nice guy, good family, and it's all good. And then Ken Sands, Orange County Fair Speedway, Middletown, New York, always treated me like gold when I went to Orange County Speedway. My money was no good there. And when I say my money was no good, he signed me in, and whoever was with me, the concession stands, I put my hand in my pocket, the guy grabbed my arm, I thought he was going to rob me. He goes, your money's no good here. They fed me, there's a bar there, the drinks are on them. It was nice. So it was all the good stuff, and I thank those people.
You come racing with me, I'll let you buy everything.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? You can buy the fuel, you can buy whatever you want.
I probably have a little JTL Enterprises Inravio.com sticker that we would have to put on your car somewhere to do that. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and we come back. We will have John Visconti and Glenn Sullivan, and this is going to be an interesting segment when we come back.
Hey guys, this is Jibs from Ocean's 8, Alaska, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Mark Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
What's up, guys? This is Assuming You Survive, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
I think I did.
Welcome back. All right. This segment is going to be interesting. We got Glenn Sullivan over here, and we got John Visconti over here. And I think Glenn was hitchhiking and John picked him up, or vice versa, because I don't know how they ended up coming together. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Congrats on your 350th show.
Thank you. They said it wouldn't last. I've had marriages that haven't lasted this long.
I had a few of them.
I had one.
And so it begins.
So it begins. What's going on? Wait, let's go with Glenn. Glenn, what's going on? Tell us a little bit about what you got going. You got some stuff going on.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, thought I retired from racing, and it's been busier now than it's ever been. With Stuart Friesen in the Craftsman Truck Series, and Tyler Dipple in the K&N Series, and Dylan Stoyer in wherever the hell we send them. It's really crazy. My time's taken up a lot. You know, teaching the young kids. It's a lot of fun. You know, I've raced from Daytona to Talladega to over 125 racetracks, won in a bunch, and just trying to help the young kids. And Stuart Friesen been with me since he's a young boy, and to watch him do the things he's done and become one of the best dirt drivers ever, and now doing very well in NASCAR, it's really rewarding. It's probably as rewarding or more rewarding than when I raced. You know.
You know, it's funny you said that, because the first time I decided maybe I should be a car owner, you know, because late Walt Edsel came to me. He says, Joe, because the Cromedies want you to do him a favor. He goes, in fact, I need you to do me a favor. In fact, NASCAR needs you to do him a favor. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to put my chest. He goes, can you not drive anymore? So, okay. So, you know, it was tough putting somebody in my car. And I said to myself, you know, they could wreck it and tear it up just as easy as I can. But the only difference is they weren't. And I got enjoyment out of watching. I know one day my crew chief said to me, Joe, sat on the fence watching, and he goes, your expression don't change. We could come off on the hook or have a good finish. You still have the same look. I said, I'm having a ball. I'm having a ball.
It's changed so much now with the finances. You know, I've won some championships, won a bunch of races. But once my mom passed away and I gave up, I was driving for Brett Bodine and we had Pepsi as a sponsor.
Yep.
I decided to take care of my mom instead of racing. It was kind of like the end of my career. People thought I really didn't want to race that bad. And, it wasn't anywhere the case, but as the man was on before, you only get one mom and dad.
Yep.
That was the smartest thing I ever did in racing, to tell you the truth. And people like Steve Parks, Eddie DeHunt, who were dear friends of mine. Back then, you know, I drove for the Allisons, Davey Allison. I watched what they did for their families, and there was no questions. Not about winning races or anything. And
right.
now, as time moves on, I have the opportunity to help some young kids. So it's been very rewarding. It really is a lot of fun watching young kids like Dylan Stoyer, who has so much talent.
Oh.
It's unbelievable. But all he needs to do is find somebody with a big wallet, you know. And we have a lot of friends in racing, and I'm not going to mention because they don't want to be racing, that do help Dylan Stoyer. And it's a pleasure because they're a great family, too, if you know their story. Chucky and Dylan.
Yep.
Just wonderful, wonderful people. So to see him start doing well, and like I said, Tyler Dipple winning a couple weeks ago in the K&N Series, and Stu, he's got about 400 wins in the dirt modified. So the next win's coming in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, I'm sure, in the next couple weeks.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You know, John, you made a big step.
Yes.
You know, and we talked about it here on the show, and when you went from the NASCAR Weekly All-American Series with C.J. Lehman,
right,
limited success, went on to the tour, you know, made that attempt as well, and an opportunity knocked on your door with a sledgehammer.
Right, yes it did.
And you know, a lot of people thought you were crazy, a lot of people thought you were blowing smoke up their behinds, but there was a select few of us.
A handful of people that believed in us. I appreciate that.
And, you know, I'm one of them, and I lost quasi friendships over my
supporting us. I know, I get it. I
was like, what the heck, you know? And they're not talking anymore. It's kind of funny.
Well, what did it say? Crickets. You know, it's quiet. We, you know us a long time. You know the operation that my dad had back in the day. We only try to do things right. And when I made that move, Glenn will be the first one. He's sitting right next to me. He's been a friend of mine for 40-something years. He said, it's different. It's different from what you're doing now. It's a big step. And are you ready for it? And I said, I'll never know if I'm ready unless I do it. The opportunity arose where I said, you know, I'm not getting any younger. This is where I want to be. Is it a gamble? Absolutely. But I felt as though with my business sense and with the passion that I have for racing, we can make this work.
Right.
And thank you for your support, Glenn. Thank you for your support. And we've been having a really good time with this, and we're doing pretty well. I'm happy with it.
Now, with NASCAR announcing the purchasing of ARCA, effective, I believe, 2019.
Yes.
You kind of lit up when you heard that.
Well, we kind of saw the handwriting on the wall, made some arrangements prior to the announcement actually coming out. One of two things were going to happen. We were either going to have an ARCA car and the K&N car, or what I call it a Kanaka car, because they did purchase it. As of 19, NASCAR now owns ARCA. In 19, I believe it's all going to stay the same as it is now, correct?
Yes, 2020.
2020 is, and we're actually going to start the combination of.
But they haven't told us what yet.
We don't know what yet, so that's another whole scenario. But regardless, I knew that things were going to be available. And at the time when they become available, when the announcement was going to hit, things were going to escalate in price. So I figured, okay, let's just do this early.
Yep.
And so here we are. We're having fun.
Well, and it looks like you are, and can follow along on social media, and you tore some stuff up at the last event, and stuff happens.
It happens.
It's all part of it. But
he was laughing.
He was running strong.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't laughing.
You were laughing.
He's laughing now.
I never find it funny when it costs somebody a lot of money. I don't ever find that funny.
It's what we signed up for. We you know what? You could, sometimes you eat the bear, some days the bear eats you.
There you go.
We were very fortunate the first couple of races. Ironically, he's with Tyler Dipple and that crew, and Dipple's a great kid.
Yep.
Brandon's a great kid. We have a lot of fun, and we were at Bristol, and we were running 6th with 1 to go, and Dipple was running 5th with 1 to go. Ironically, at the start-finish line, we were 5th, and they were 6th, and they didn't show it on camera. And lo and behold, he's staying at our house that night. Him and Tyler Dipple's dad was staying over, and I said to Marie on the way back to the house, "This ought to be a lot of fun, boy." And but you know what? We leave it on the track. The kids are great. They talk things out. We have a great time, and I'm having a ball.
Listen, the bottom line was you weren't driving the car, nor
he
was I.
Right.
Let the kids have that on the racetrack, and
there you go.
leave it there.
That's good stuff. Good stuff, and you're having fun.
Oh, I'm having. I have that little hashtag, living the dream. I really am. Whether we wreck, we win, or we just finish 5th, I'm where I want to be. We're having fun, and it can only get better.
And and like I said, I know you a long time, and your dad since I'm a little kid. But at your local track here in Long Island, you were having fun, but you weren't having fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, the outward image was, we're having a good time, let's make it happen, we're good. And then that opportunity rose, and your whole, you were having fun.
Yes. Up until where we are right now, the fun that I thought I was having, it was fun, but you know what? Everybody says, oh, you have to have fun. No, it's not true. You have to have fun, but you want to win races, you want to be competitive. I'm not going to have fun if we're in the K&N series and we're running 25th to 30th.
Right.
That's not fun.
That's not fun.
We're lucky enough to have Bruce Cook as the crew chief for our car. We have Brandon McReynolds as our driver. We have Mr. Reichert with the IGA group, funding what we're doing. That's fun. It doesn't happen for everyone.
No.
We're lucky enough we put ourselves in a position to have fun.
Right.
Because I when I say I'm having fun, you're not having fun if you're 25th to 30th.
No.
I could have fun being in the top 10, even if you wreck a car. You know what? That's the nature of the beast.
Right.
And we move on to the next race. But it's I'm fortunate to be where I am. Marie loves it.
Oh yeah.
She complains a little bit here and there about it's too hot or we got to get on a plane or whatever. But you know what? She's having fun.
She is.
So I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate. The program is working. I see a lot of things in the future. Glenn and I talk about a lot of things too. Where the sport's going. We're at a level now where the only thing that I think is a little different, and correct me if I'm wrong, at the local level, like when you're at Riverhead or if you're at Stafford or Thompson, like when we park next to Jimmy, camaraderie, we're there.
Oh yeah.
There's so much, like his wife will be in our trailer, vice versa. She'll be cooking, the girls will be making coffee or whatever. At the level that we're at now, and I'm sure it just gets even further and further away from that, where we're at now, there's so much work to do in a race day that you don't have time to walk out of your hauler and walk to the next person and hang out.
Right.
So that's the only difference. You're with your crew.
Well, you have a lot of travel. Look at the other night, even racing in South Boston, which is only 3 hours from Charlotte.
Right.
Okay, everybody's trying to get out of there to get back on the road because guys got to get their cars turned around to race next week.
Go to Memphis.
Yep.
So it's not like for years I would race Stafford, Thompson, and Waterford in the modifieds. Back in the late '80s, early '90s. You did because you would stay there. You only raced an hour down the road, and you had your car in a trailer or two, whatever you're doing.
Yep.
So it was a lot easier. But when you're traveling, a couple weeks going to Memphis, well, it's an 11-hour ride. So if you stay out and party, you got to drive home. Somebody's got to drive home, and not only do you have 2 or 3 guys in a pit crew. Okay, you have maybe 10 or 15 people at the races.
Right.
So now you have to get 10 or 15 people back home, whether you have a little bus like David Gilligan Racing has that Tyler's driving for, or some guys are flying, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot more to do when you're traveling a lot further than if you're racing local. And you know what? Racing local, I always said I had the best time in the world when I raced with Stafford, Thompson, and Waterford. Myself, Teddy, Christopher, we'd all go wave running, jet skiing, partying, That was when racing was fun. When I got to the higher levels of racing in the, the Busch Series, you were real busy, you know, and it was sponsor commitments, et cetera, et cetera. So there wasn't as much fun, but you were also getting to the level that you wanted to be at. So there's like a give and take deal. There's a balance.
Yep. And I know I've been an official in every series in NASCAR. And like I said, the higher up you go, the more intense it was getting. And as you're finding out, it's minute by minute.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
There is a list now.
Oh, yeah. You need to be here at 2:02, and then you need to be here at 2:25, and hopefully you're passing the men's room on the way that you go like real quick because don't miss.
What's the old saying with NASCAR? Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait. I don't know what we're doing, but it's like Riverhead. The guys get there, and Jimmy, you could say, you get there at 11 o'clock in the morning. What the hell are you doing at 11 o'clock in the morning? We used to race at Riverhead. We'd race Riverhead on Friday night. Yep. Me, Paul McIlerney would meet on the expressway. We'd get there at 6. We'd practice, race, get as, well, I hate to say it, but drunk as possible at night. Drive to Ice Slip. We race Ice Slip the next day. Get as drunk as possible so I'll get back to Huntington.
Yeah.
Now you got to be there, like you said, you're there at 9 o'clock in the morning.
If you're late, you're there at 9 o'clock.
It doesn't make sense, though, and I think that's why it hurts a lot of the fans, too. I was reading something last week where they're running the heat races at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
Well, kids got Little League games. Kids got soccer games. Some parents have to work on Saturdays.
Yep.
You know, if you started practice at 6 and you started the race at 8 and ended them at 11 like they used to do, people could come to the races more. It'd be a lot easier for them. Then they got the cost, of course, but that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other animal. But I, from what I understand, the opening night races, it was over by like 8:45.
Yeah, that's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, but again, and it started at, what time did the heat races start? 4 o'clock?
4.
Most people can't be there at 4 if they have children.
Right.
Because as
Or
they get
jobs.
a little bit older, or
jobs.
jobs.
Right.
In the spring and stuff, kids are playing sports.
Right.
And you know, I said we used to start the races. How much practice? I go to these dirt races. I'll give you a quick little story. A couple years ago, Stuart Friesen, myself, and one other guy went to Grandview Speedway. We got there at 4:30 in the afternoon. We bought one tire, filled the car up with gas, won the race. We won $27,500, and we left by 10 o'clock at night off to get drunk again.
Yeah.
But we got there at 4:30.
A lot of alcohol in your program.
We got there at 4:30. We were done at 10:30. We won $27,500. We bought one tire and filled the car up with gas.
Yeah.
It was called the Freedom 76er, which he won in last year too.
Wow. You know, when I first got involved with dirt racing, I was working with ASI, moving shirts and fire suits and hats and stuff. And I can't remember the guy's name. I brought him his stuff because he was selling his stuff, his shirts, because that's how he bought his fuel. So if he sold enough shirts, he had fuel for that night and the next race. And I never went to a dirt race, so he goes out and does like 4 laps, pulls it in. I said, Earl Paulson.
Yeah, Earl Paulson.
Yeah. I said to him, that's it? Something wrong? He goes, dude, if I can't sell in 4 or 5 laps, my car's good enough. I better go to get another sport. And then the NASCAR guys, they practice for hours.
Okay, but why do the dirt cars get a good amount of fans in? They go to Lebanon Valley on a Saturday night. They'll put 3,000 or 4,000 fans in there. They'll have 30 or 40 big block modifieds. They'll have 25, 30 small block modifieds. You know, they start the races, they practice at 6. Heat races start at 7:30. They're done at 10:30. Chucky Stoyer bought a cheeseburger and a soda last week, he told me. It was $3. He couldn't believe it. He asked the lady if she made a mistake. They said no.
$3.
Yeah, but you understand, he paid $22 to get in the pits because he didn't have a license.
Without the license, $22.
Correct, $22 a person. And they packed the place.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between starting those races at that time. You know, and there's something to be said about that.
Does Sully like to drink? Someone just asked.
Hell yeah. We say we might not win every race, but we never lose a party.
Never lost a party.
Never lost a party.
Camo Motorsports.
Oh, man.
Too funny.
I think this segment is just about out of time. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to drag you guys back.
I'll be here.
All right? We'll bring you guys back.
You really aren't wearing any pants, are you?
No, I don't.
Wow. I didn't know that until just now.
He likes to drink too.
I do. Nice Jameson. I had some good Jameson.
Glad I'm sitting over here, I can tell you that much.
He had some good Jameson.
Next segment, I'm sitting over there.
You know? Jimmy's house. He had the fine Jameson.
Who's this?
Jimmy Renner.
Irish whiskey.
Oh.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh.
He has the good Irish whiskey.
Nice.
Good Irish whiskey. It's like my favorite. My favorite. But anyway, I think we have some more images before we go to this next segment. So we have some images of some past guests. Here we go. Congressman Lee Zeldin took the time out of his busy schedule not only to come to the rally, as John was there for, but he took the time to talk to me. So that goes in one of my all-time Inravio times. A congressman wants to talk to me. Marty Himes.
Wow.
Been here many
legend.
times. Oh, he started that museum with a trophy that somebody threw away.
Really?
Back in the day, and I'll tell you what, you name a name to him, he'll go in somewhere and come out with something.
Really?
You just throw a name, an obscure guy, Marty Himes, good person. There's Mike Gravel Buxer. Mike, a world champion demolition driver, good friend of mine, has been down on the show a few times. His demolition derby days are over, and him and I still constantly debate whether demo derbying is a race or an event. Because I say at Ice Speedway, Tom Kraft won the last race. The plaque said Bob Park because it was a NASCAR thing, but they had a demo that night, and one of Gravel's friends won. And he said, no, this guy, I think it was Mike Kilkenny, he won the last race. And it's not a race. So we have Mike Vera, Van Houten.
It's the happiest man in motorsports.
I'm telling you, there's no guy happier than that kid. And it's a family operation. Yep. His mom, his dad, his brother, and I know this kid for like probably 10 or 15 years, and knowing what he went through, and I'm not going to give away any of his business, but knowing what he went through, that race car gives him a reason to go in the garage and be with his dad. And my dad wasn't into racing, and he's passed away now about 14 years, and I missed that. You had that.
Yep, thank God.
You know?
I did, yes. I cherish those days.
Oh man, I wish, and but like I said, I made some good friends in this. But Nicholas Malverde, Jimmy Rennick's nephew, there, over 63 wins in his life. He's just a kid. He's just a kid, and following in his dad's footsteps. So Nick came up from Florida one day and came on our show. So it's all good. And Pastor Scott Craniac from the Center Reach Bible Church is also the Riverhead Raceway chaplain. He's been here in our studio as well. And I'll tell you what, we're all from the old days. Reverend Dan. And Father Dan, went back in the day.
What about Pat?
Well, I remember.
He's the original one.
Yeah, he started with the Racing with Jesus Ministries. And I'll tell you what, those guys in the Racing with Jesus Ministries, whether it was Father Pat or Father Dan, who was also the Islanders chaplain, Pastor Scott, they've all helped me and my family at one time or another over the last 30 some odd years. And and we're not Jesus freaks. You lean on them. You talk to them.
I say a prayer for every single race.
I do too.
I do too.
Every single race.
Always bless myself going down the backstretch and never ask to win. Just keep me safe and everybody else in racing with.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Always went to the services as much as I could at the races, no matter where I was, and still pray every night. Just to pray for the world. It's a better place.
What we do and what we did was dangerous.
Yeah, but you know what? If people use God more, it'd be a better place too. And I mean that seriously. I'm not a holy roller or anything, but sure doesn't hurt to say a prayer here and there, or do something nice for somebody is what we're taught.
And when I worked pit road for NASCAR, and I worked pit road in the trucks, the Nationwide, now Xfinity, the Modifieds, and the K&N, and if I missed them before the race, I seek them out and I go, just brothers, bow our heads.
Give me a quick.
Let's bow our heads. Anyway, that's it for tonight. And I'll tell you what, today went fast, so I'm going to bring you folks back, and we're going to do a part 2 and continue and celebrate show 350 with some good people in racing that I've known for a long time, and you develop relationships. And I thank you, and I thank you come from all the way from Staten Island. And
love it.
And Dragon Glenn with you from Westbury, and he's starting to get that southern accent.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep mine.
Yeah,
my Staten Island.
You're never losing that, buddy.
So anyway, I want to thank everybody for being a part of our show tonight. Whether you're in the chat room, whether you're in the social media, whether you're just watching and just observing and having a good time. And we're going to come back next week and do this show. Because I got people sitting here that need to talk, and we didn't even skim the surface with these guys. So whoever your endeavors bring you this week, be safe, Be careful. Give somebody a hug. Tell them you love them. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Great.
Yes, sir.